Bonus!
Piper Leo! Crew, what the hell is going on? Look out! Piper, now!
Here are these words. Hear the rhyme.
Crew, Piper, page, book.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Keep it going, Phoebe.
Hear now the words of the witches.
The words of the witches. The words of the witches.
Crew, Piper, page.
Hear now the words of the
Keep
witches.
it going, Phoebe. Keep it going.
Hear now the words of the
Keep chanting.
Words of the witches.
Hear now the words.
The words of the finish the story.
Crew, Piper, page, book. Keep chanting.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Keep chanting.
What ass backward spell did you guys cast?
This is Kevin, and welcome to Words of the Witches.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Piper, page, book.
Words of the witches. The words of the witches. The words of the witches. Hear now the words of the witches.
Keep chanting.
Hear now the words of the witches.
Here we are. Welcome to Words of the Witches bonus episode number 14. Ooh. And today I have a guest joining me. It's Chris Lilly. Hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, where do I start?
Your podcast, where do you want to
Oh
start?
my gosh. Well, first talk about your interest in general and your introduction to the series.
So, my introduction to the series started actually way back with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I actually was a first-time watcher, and I was brought up in a very conservative home where I was not allowed to watch Charmed.
Wow.
And I was not allowed to watch it. And I remember it was the season that Prue died.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. And it was yearbook day, and it was I had someone record the finale on a VHS tape, and I was watching it, but waiting for my ride to come get me. And Piper was shot, and they were like, and then a honk honk, and I was like, damn it.
Like, I'm in this.
So I went the entire day like bawling because I thought Piper was gonna die.
Yeah.
From there, I just continued watching the show. When I moved out, because that's who I am, I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. And when I moved out to Los Angeles, there was a Craigslist thing that just said, we're looking for a Charmed expert. I applied, and they hired me. So I worked on the special features for the DVD box set that came out when they came out with the Big Book series.
Yeah, this one.
That one. Yeah, that one. Mine's over there.
I know, I've seen
yes,
it.
that one.
Yeah, there's two versions, but this is the bigger version. But yeah.
I wanted the bigger version.
Yeah, why not? You have to. Especially if you worked
And
on
then
it.
I think I see in the background you have a Book of Shadows actually on a stand.
Yeah. Something about this our page.
Yeah, I think I ordered it and I'm waiting for it to come in. I don't know.
Okay.
Someone sent me a link for like a special deal, and they had like 2 left, and it's been like 3 months, so I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get it.
Okay, hoping.
Other than that, I just continue. I love the show. I still like the show. Piper's still my favorite. She will always be my favorite. I didn't watch the new one.
Me neither.
Nothing against them. The only real comment that I have about the new one is it was very interesting watching the pilot because they crammed 8 seasons into 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And they went off and did their own
Yeah.
thing, but I'm watching too much as it is. I can't watch everything.
Right. So, but that's cool. So, what was the process like working on the special features for the DVD set? What did you all have to do?
I was a production assistant, so my job was to contact the actors or the talent, writers, directors, all that stuff, and just kind of say, hey, we're doing some special features with the complete series box set. Would you want to be a part of it? And so that's what my main job was. And also I was supposed to be, because I was the Charmed expert, it was like what episodes do we need to get from CBS so that we can edit into the videos. And I remember there was one time that there was a ghost that Todd, the special effects guy, Todd something
Tucker?
or other, Todd, yes.
Okay.
And there was a big ghost, and she was flying around, and he was talking about her, and I'm like, what ghost? I don't even know
Some
what ghost
Olivia
you're talking
Calloway,
about.
the Loves a Witch one.
It was literally the teaser. It was
Okay.
in the teaser of an episode.
Okay.
It was it. She was just flying around, completely white, and it was. I think it was after Cold Eyed.
Okay.
Another spoiler. And it was like they were all the demons.
House Call. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So just I got the episode wrong, and the producer got mad at me. Because I was just like, I don't know what ghost. It was a teaser. It was like she wasn't in the whole. It wasn't a demon of the entire episode. It was just like a scene.
It was scary though. Yeah. That was season 5, episode 13.
So yeah,
House Call.
You know it better than I do. But yeah, so that's kind of what my job was, and I think you found me via TikTok because I shared a story where people are probably going to be mad at me because part of my job was to, again, contact the talent, and I was trying to get a hold of Cole, Julian McMahon, and I pronounced his last name Julian McMahon. So I think his agent was like, who is this stupid person contacting me for it? And then so that's probably the reason. I'm probably the reason why he is not in the special features.
Oh no.
It's all my fault. I have to take it's a fun story to tell, but it is all my fault.
So did you have to like physically interview them, or did you just edit the footage, or how did it work?
Oh yeah. Well, we had an in-house editor. I actually wrote down questions for the producer to ask the talent that was being interviewed that day. So we interviewed. I got Rose McGowan. We had Kerr Smith. We had a few of the writers. We got the main guy.
Brad Kern.
I'm already forgetting. Yeah, Brad Kern. We got Brad Kern.
Christopher
and then a couple of writers. We got a couple of
Yeah.
directors. I have a sad story to tell about not getting Holly.
Okay.
I mean, we did get Holly. I really wanted to get Holly, and I was like really rooting for it. And I don't know if we got Alyssa Milano, I wasn't there for that interview.
Okay.
But with Holly, I really wanted to get her. She was my favorite. Everyone knew, and that was the year that my dad died. And so the year that year that I was working on the show is the year that I was actually holding the day that I was actually holding the actual Book of Shadows and actually flipping through the real pages. I got the call that my dad died.
Wow.
And I had to leave, and they interviewed her 2 days later. So I was really upset that I was never able to meet Holly because it was 2 days and Dad.
Like that's sad on all kinds of levels. Yeah.
All kinds of levels. And don't mean to bring down the podcast at all. It's just it was the day of, and that's my story with Charmed.
Yeah, no, I lost my mom this year, so I totally get it. It's been a struggle.
It's a struggle. It will get better.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. What was I gonna say now?
Sorry, didn't mean to like add
in our moments.
I got you crying now. Whoa, sorry.
It's always an emotional journey on this show. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. So that's exciting. You also do I know you're a big Power Ranger fan too.
I mean, yeah. I can't see it. So I made some Mickey ears.
That's
I don't know. For those of you who are not getting the video, I'm showing him some Mickey ears that I have displayed in my apartment. I made the Mighty Morphin ones.
Yeah. And
I just kind of had fun with it.
So do you wear them?
The Power Rangers are all over my apartment.
Yes. All the toys.
All over my apartment.
I have I have a Power Rangers section over there, but there's so many Power Rangers toys I just can't keep up. So I just have the ones I have. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what's a friend of mine is actually very concerned. Not concerned. That's the wrong word to use. But he always asks me, how do you decide which toys to buy? Because he continued watching the show, and I'm like, I'm a Zordon era guy. I know Zordon era, and that's where it stops. I don't know anything else that happens after Zordon dies. Another spoiler alert for anyone watching who hasn't watched that yet either.
That's what, in
I'm just
space
giving
or
out
Lost
spoilers.
Galaxy, somewhere in there.
It was
In
space.
Yeah. Yeah, the end of
It was in
okay,
space.
yeah. The very end, I remember.
But yeah, so I have mostly Mighty Morphin around here. It's not Mighty Morphin, some Zeo and Turbo,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
up to space is where I will buy.
Okay.
After that, I'm just like, I don't know what's happening.
There's just so much. There's so much.
There's just so much, and I just have other things to watch.
I know we're on a Power Rangers tangent, and I'll be brief with it, but I have to talk about it. I actually lent David Yost some costume pieces of mine because I'm a cosplayer.
Oh,
and
okay.
I do a lot of Billy cosplay. So when a few years ago when he did his walk down Hollywood Boulevard, some of the stuff he was wearing was my stuff that I ended up giving him. That I lent him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I actually think he kind of thinks I'm disgusting because I didn't realize this at the moment because I went in, I brought my DVD box set to have it signed by all the Power Rangers, and it was dusty, and he grabbed it and was like, "It's dusty," and I was like, "Okay," and he just like wiped off the DVD box set like disgusted, and I've never seen him since. So I'm like, I'm hoping that he doesn't. I'm hoping he doesn't remember that because I didn't know. I was like, oh, I should have watched it first, but I didn't, and I'm hoping that the next time I see him, he will not remember that.
I'm not a dusty person.
I'm sorry, I'm not I mean, it's there, and it was dusty, but I'm not dirty.
All right, well, cool. I need to move back to Charm since it's a Charm podcast, but I know we have a lot of listeners that are Power Ranger fans too, so hopefully they appreciate the talk. So do you have a favorite, your favorite sister's Piper? Do you have a favorite episode?
I tend to go through, is it Morality Bites? Is that the one that they go to the future?
That's my favorite episode of the entire series.
2?
Yeah, season 2, episode 2.
That one. I do have a favorite arc.
Okay.
My favorite arc is in season 4 when the seer is trying to get Phoebe to be the source.
Okay.
Or all that,
Baby
or
and
Cole
stuff,
becomes
yeah.
the source. All that, like that. She is my favorite villain of the entire series. She just was so patient and villains who are patient are the best ones because they know what they want and they are willing to wait to get it, and it makes them that much more scarier.
Debbie Morgan is such a force when she appears, and the presence. Like she's subtle, she's quiet, but you also know that she's pulling the strings, that she's super powerful, and she's just waiting for the right moment. It's
Oh yeah. I get chills still watching her be the seer, and it's just like, those are my favorite 8 episodes of the entire series.
Nice, fun.
I actually went through. I wanted to create a Charmed movie, and so I actually went through, and I think I tried to edit the last episode of season 3 where Prue died, and the first beginning of season 4, just kind of made them one long movie.
Yeah.
to see what it would feel like. I mean, I don't even know where it is, but I've done it.
That's fun. I used to make a lot of FMVs, like fan music videos with Charmed footage. Of course, back then it wasn't as easily accessible. I was like, the crappiest quality stuff and just taking commercials and piecing things together to make them fit with my movie. But it was a fun little challenge that I would do, and I had a lot of fun making them.
I'm trying to think, did I do anything like that with like any of my other shows? I never was an editor, really. I do remember, I know this is going to be another tangent, but I was recording all of my stuff on VHS way back then. And I had so Sabrina was the thing that got me totally into like witchcraft. And I was recording her. She went to syndication, and I wanted to get all the episodes. So there was a time when I had 40 tapes, 12 episodes each of Sabrina. And so I actually spent some time in my own bedroom having 2 VCRs and just putting them all in order and like choosing the best one that had the best. And so I did that, and then they came out on DVD.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I kept them because they gave us the edited versions, which is weird. But so
yeah, people don't understand.
I did that. My mom was like, "Go outside and play." I'm like, "No, Sabrina,
This is important. And yeah,
this is important to my life."
the depths we had to go to, the time consuming process of pretty much everything we did in those times,
Yeah.
people don't know how lucky they are these days.
No, they don't know, and now they're just giving it to them in
Yeah.
like perfect quality, and it's just there to watch.
It's like, lucky you. They did release. I remember they released like a few VHS Charmed releases, but not in America. It was like in France and stuff. They had like compilations of like a few episodes of Charmed, and here you go. And I used to be like, then you get VHS. I was like, and I was waiting for the DVDs to come out. Like, these shows have DVDs. Why doesn't Charmed have DVDs? Like the whole waiting period at that point, I was like, oh my god, because I only saw the ones on that came on, and I watched it, and that was it. Occasionally, you might get a rerun, but it was still so new. So,
see, that's why I recorded it and I kept it all. I moved to college with a whole box of Sabrina, Will and Grace, Charmed, Smallville. And my mom was like, "You're not taking those to college." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. They're mine.
yeah.
I'm not leaving them here for you to record over. No." So I had them all in order. I had a label system, everything. And I took it was like this big box, and it was heavy, and it was all VHS tapes. And I was known as the recording guy.
Great. I love that. And now, what you do now is super cool. You do tarot, but a specific kind of tarot. You do it for writer's block, for writers, which is like exactly kind of what we do. We cover the published material of Charmed, and you're using like magic and tarot and stuff to facilitate that. That's really exciting. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So in 2020, during my time alone, I was listening to a writing podcast called Writing Excuses. And one of the podcasters said that when she has writer's block, she pulls out her tarot cards. And I was like, "What is this?" And now I've got 65 decks. Here's all I know for those who are not getting the video feed, I've got all of my decks behind me. And it's bonkers and stuff. And so now I've just spent I'm certified now to read tarot I can do personal questions or writer's block questions, but I'm a writer myself. So I want to kind of gear more toward those people, but I am still willing to do like a 1 hour like personal question.
Yeah. So that's great. So how does it, I don't know, like the process, what is that like? Like, how do you apply it to writing?
So I went through and I found a lot of spreads about how to create a character or how to like let's see. There's like 4 thoughts that just kind of came into my mind.
Take your time and go through them
like
all.
so much.
Yeah, I know.
There's just so much. So the most popular spread is the 3-card spread, and that's usually like a past, present, future. That could be like a past, present. There's like spiritual, mental, and physical. Like it's just there's 3 different ways,
Yeah.
and so adapting that to the stories, you always have 3 acts, or not always, but mostly you can always. So if you pull 3 cards, the first act is the first card, the second act is the second card, and the third act is the third card. And so then you kind of have a basic outline of what your whole series, of what your story could be.
Okay.
And what I like to do with it too, and the way how I kind of approach it is that, like I know I've obviously read all the books. So anyone who wants to come on and be a client of mine, I've got a 3-month coaching program that I do. You don't have to know the meanings of the cards at all. That's up to me. That's my job.
Yeah.
But what I do is like I know that writers want to pull out, like they want their readers to feel like they're in the story. And so the way how I kind of help writers address that is, what do they see, feel, hear, touch, taste in the cards? And even feel emotionally, not just physically, but emotionally. So if you see a card, it's like the 3 of Cups is 3 women dancing in a field, usually. So what do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell there? Do you smell the grass? Do you hear the crickets chirping? Do you taste the wine that they're drinking in the cup? And from there, you can tap into your five senses, put it into your story, and make your reader feel like that you are actually in the story, or they are actually in the story.
Mm.
And it just kind of goes off into major tangents, creating a character, creating a cast. You can figure out how someone dies. You can I don't have my list out
Yeah.
here. It's just so many, and it's just like it just blows it up. But it's just I found some spreads that have really helped bring my stories together, and it's a fun way to creatively get into your own world, which is also what I like to do. Is with all these decks, I have a mermaid deck, I have a zombie deck, I have a witch deck, I have a steampunk deck. But like, if you're writing a steampunk story, the vampire deck's not going to help you.
Yeah.
So all the images, along with your own senses, can like really dig deep into what you're feeling toward your project and create a very strong connection to whatever it is that you're
That's
writing.
so cool. And so yeah, based off what comes up, it'll spark an idea within you that oh, that's so exciting. And it's like, what's good about tarot too is like it's like the vibrations, it's the energies, it's the feelings you already have, and just bringing it out. I love that.
And the thing that I also like to point out too is that if you do a tarot reading for your story, and the third card is something that is like completely not making sense, you don't have to use it. It's just a good starting
Yeah.
point. It just, instead of staring at a blank screen, you just have you can look at the story already right in front of you and just kind of use that as a starting point, so you're not staring at something, not letting the white screen tease you.
Nice.
And you just write, instead of writing like, this character does this or this or this, you can do a character spread and be like, this is their past, this is their job, this is what they look like. And just like, before a single word is written, all like, you can just have a whole aspect there and just start writing with whatever you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell.
Amazing. Yeah, I have a few, because I've been trying to just like get into tarot a little bit myself, just like to read and just like to feel, because I am very into that kind of stuff, witchy stuff and magical stuff, and energies and things like that. Plus art and beautiful pictures, that always is wonderful too. So I think I have some of the ones you have. I don't remember what they are. I have a few decks.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to a store, I'm always like, oh, I've got that one.
Yeah,
I've got that
the ones
one.
that
I've got that
inspired
one.
me.
I've got that one.
Have you? Well, I'm going to show you these because I have some charmed props. This was in these three. These are props, but these were like lovers, despair, death. That was during the season 4 arc. That was actually right when Phoebe and Cole got married, and this is the ones that
Oh,
Paige was
yeah.
doing. So I
Yeah.
thought those were cool to showcase for this episode.
Yeah.
And I do remember there
I
was
remember
in
stuff.
season 7 when they were in Showgirls, when they were in like the cabaret fantôme or whatever.
Mm.
There was that little tarot set up there too that they usually get out of the plane of existence, that ghostly plane, the time loop.
It's gotten to the point that my friends are like, whenever they're watching a show, they always text me and they're like, oh, tarot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just anything in general. It's just, and it's funny.
Yeah.
So
Because it wasn't really a huge thing in Charmed. It was used very sporadically.
very sporadically.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened. I heard about it on a writing podcast and I just went all downhill.
I do have a kind of a Charmed deck here too of it's only the major arcana.
Mhm.
But they have some really cool ones here. I'm showing you a few.
I want to
ones.
see.
Okay. Like this is the Fool, has the source on there. We got like
The Fool has the source?
I know, isn't that weird? He's like that's a weird one because he's trapped in the crystal cage, but still, that's a weird one.
That doesn't. That he's the devil.
Yeah.
Come on, you
Let me
guys.
let me look to see what the devil
whoever
is.
gets
Let me look to see what the devil is. Here we go. No, it's the world.
Cole.
No,
It's probably Cole, right?
Cole is the world
Oh,
with his big fireball. Let's.
interesting.
What is the devil? Oh, it's the source. Well, it's the source again. Okay. It's the source with his wings and his blade, and then you have the seer there
Okay.
and Shax there.
Oh, yep. You got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, I wonder they could have used something else for the fool then.
That is not what I would have done.
Yeah.
Who's the Hierophant? Because I have an idea who I would call it. Who I would do the Hierophant with.
I need to look. It's just fun. Where's Hierophant?
Did they get the Hierophant wrong?
Where is Hierophant in here? Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. It's the parents.
Oh, it's not Leo.
It's not Leo.
Leo's the Hierophant, guys. Come on.
Yeah. So it's the parents. It's Victor and Patty. Is Leo in any of these? What about High Priestess? Who would you put for High Priestess?
High Priestess. I don't know that I would put. I don't. High Priestess. She's a. I would probably put that as the Debbie Morgan, the seer.
Oh, see, they put Grams because she technically is a High Priestess in the show.
That makes sense. That makes sense too. I can. I'll buy that. I'll take that.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. We have Empress Valkyrie Piper.
Okay. All right.
Emperor Gladiator Leo.
Oh, that makes sense too. All right. I'll buy it.
So there's some fun ones.
No, I went through. I want to start identifying characters with specific TV shows, and with Charmed, I did the queens for the Charmed sisters.
Okay.
And so I feel that Piper would be the Queen of Pentacles. Usually I would have thought the Queen of Cups because she's all the emotion stuff, but Piper is also, personality-wise, she's very down to earth. She's the one who has the job. She's the one who has the bar that seems to go throughout the entire series. There's an episode where Phoebe got her hair done for $250, and she's like, "What did you do that for? That's like a whole week's worth of groceries."
Right.
So Piper's the Queen of Pentacles. She's very down to earth, very like smart in that way. I would like to do the Queen of Swords as Prue, just because Swords is about minds and thoughts, and she could move things with her mind. So that's kind of like, it's a little bit of a cheat. Because they went the route with Phoebe to make her the lovey-dovey one and wanting to fall in love with every guy possible, she would be the Queen of Cups. And then the Queen of Wands would be Paige, just because she was a firecracker.
Yeah.
And you just unexpected, didn't know what was going to come out of her mouth. She always said something weird and different, and she was confident. And so that's my three. That's what I would do.
I love that. So let me ask you, what card in the deck do you most associate with yourself?
Oh, I've never really thought about that.
I mean, it changes day to day, obviously, certain moods and things.
Changes day to day. I can tell you my favorite deck.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. As all of them fall down. So this is my favorite deck.
Beautiful.
It was the first deck that I bought. And it's got like a medieval feeling to it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not really like witchy. It's more like Merlin.
Yeah, like Renaissance.
It's so
yeah, I love that.
But this is my favorite deck, and it's like it was the first one that I bought. And so everything just falls down. I did my birthday thing, and I think the one that I'm mostly associated with is the Chariot, if I remember correctly. Yeah, if you add up your birthday or whatever, and then you get a number, and you take it down to a number in the major arcana. That's the card that your life associates with, and I think mine's the Chariot.
Okay.
Chariot or Temperance, one of the I don't remember. One of those two is kind of coming.
I should figure that out because I don't know what
this
mine is. Yeah, I should figure that out.
Yeah, go. If you go online, look up your birthday or count up all the numbers, and some people have different ways of doing it or whatever. I haven't quite mastered all that stuff yet. I'd have to look that up, but you can figure out kind of what is your life.
Yeah. I've always kind of identified with King of Cups, just because I feel I'm a water sign. I've always been very emotional. Always been like that's my driving force. So I'm like, okay, I see that. But if I do this thing,
what is your
well,
sign?
I'm a Scorpio.
What's your Scorpio? I'm a Sagittarius
Okay.
sun. So that's a fire. I've also been told, following all these people on TikTok, I've learned that you shouldn't be going from your sun sign. You should be going by your rising sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my rising sign is a Virgo.
Okay.
I don't know what sign I don't know what element that is, but I'm just like, once I tell them Sagittarius and Virgo, they're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, both of my rising and my moon are Aquarius, which is interesting because
Wow.
they're air, but there's like almost air that comes from water. Like,
Mhm.
but it's I kind
I
of
put,
think that because my Chinese zodiac is a fire rabbit, so you mix the water and fire together, you get
okay.
steam. It's all science. It works together.
All science.
Yeah.
All of it is science. It's just
Yeah.
elements. It's science is magic before you know what it is.
Yep.
Or magic is science. I don't know what I was trying to make up a
What
term or make up a
saying?
cool line, and I didn't make it.
Yeah, I know it exists though. Somebody said it somewhere before.
Yeah, yeah. There's something out there like magic. What I do kind of like someone else said is magic is just spicy psychology.
Yeah.
I like that. Magic is spicy psychology is literally what it comes down to, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll take that, and I like that.
Yeah. Are you aware of the what's this Eros erotic tarot deck that my friend made on Twitter?
Your friend made it.
Yeah. I'm in it.
Is that
I'm
the
in it.
one where like you're in
Yeah.
it? Oh, I think I have it on my wish list.
Okay.
Isn't there like two versions? One's like a nudie nude, and one's like a happy, like a cover up.
I don't know. I only know the really naked ones. So
Okay, because there was one version. I don't know if that was the Eros one.
okay.
Then, but there was one version of the tarot deck out there that has like everything's covered and everything's PG
Okay.
or PG-13. Then there's one that's like XXX.
Yeah.
And it's just two different versions of the exact same thing, and I'm like, do I need nudity in my
And there's quite
I
a
mean, I
few
guess
tarot
it's not.
cards that do. I mean, so many decks that do.
Yeah,
Especially there's quite a few like gay tarot decks too.
yeah.
So, but I'm in that one as he made us. See, I'm very confused because there's like all these regular cards, but then like, and that's the thing because other decks have different interpretations and they don't always use their typical ones. So I'm a Scorpio card. I'm going to show it to you, but cover it up.
You don't want me to see what you look like?
What I mean, yeah. So that's me. It's like
Okay.
it's kind of a King of
All
Cups
right.
looking thing too. But it's a Scorpio card.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Um,
Is that more of an oracle deck instead of a tarot
yeah,
deck
it
then?
sounds probably more of like an Oracle deck. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it's fun. It's neat. Lots of friends that I know, lots of people that I'm aware of are like drawings in there. So, and they're really high quality, really shiny. They're kind of the holographic kind of feel. I mean, the box. I don't know if you can see it. The box is kind of like shiny, shimmery,
Yeah,
splendid.
it looks shiny stuff.
So,
I actually have I'm writing a story called Duncan, a Gay Teenage Witch right
Okay.
now. And one of his friends is going to be a merboy, and his fin looks like that shiny stuff,
very
like
fun.
iridescent or whatever it is. So it's like silvery, shiny, and that's what I want his fin to look like.
Cool. What else do I want to say? Anything else? Do you have any questions for me?
I don't know. Can you tell me when you saw my TikTok or my not even my TikTok? I think it was actually just a podcast thing on Instagram. I just
Yeah.
posted a podcast thing, and I was just like, "What did you did you randomly just find me, or did it just go in your feed, or I don't think you were already following me."
Yeah, I don't know.
And just kind of what went through your mind when you saw that post or whatever?
Yeah, I don't remember what came first. If I was following you or if I did follow you after. I don't remember. But I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, he's looking to do podcasts. I'm like, well, I've seen some of his other stuff somehow. I think I saw I might have saw the TikTok first with the book. And then I followed it to your Instagram.
Okay.
I think that's probably what it was.
Got it. That's probably okay.
Yeah. But I'm like, well, that seems fitting. That'd be fun to talk about.
Yeah, and this has been fun. It's actually been it's like memory lane trying to remember things about Charmed because I actually haven't watched it in such a long time. I need to actually go back and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very fascinating.
I know I'll ask you, and this is your chance to talk a little bit more to me, which might be a waste of time, but we'll see how this goes. Tell me about the comic books because I only watched till the end of the series. I don't even know, like, I know that there's like 2 seasons or something, and I have not watched or read any of it. And part of me is like, I think I mentioned to you that I was like, you might need to sell me on this, and I might be needing to buy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's 2 seasons. Is it still 20? Isn't 22? It's not 22 episodes.
Okay.
How do they format it?
Yeah, because typically the show was 22 episodes when it started. When they started doing 2-parters, it ended up being like 23 episodes for some seasons. But those are just the comic books, and those 2 seasons of comic books, season 9 and 10, take place after the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I remember that.
Well, more like, I mean, not after, because they have Forever Charmed, where they have to do like that flash forward, and so it's before the flash forward and Forever Charmed, but it's kind of like the steps that led to some of that stuff. The book
is it still like typical? Is it still typical comic book stuff where like each story is told in 3 different issues? Or is one demon one issue, or like does that make sense?
It's the whole season long, so things are being played up all 20. Oh. So like the first season 9 is 24 issues, and they, I mean, there's are like contained things in certain issues, but it's pretty much an ongoing throughout all the issues. So you have to understand what's happening. You have to go in order, kind of.
How long is each individual
issue?
Comic.
22 pages, real quick.
Yeah. Oh, really? So okay. So okay.
Yeah. So it takes about 10 minutes.
They just made it a shorter season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are
they doing more?
No, they ended.
Did it end?
Yeah, the last, I think it ended in 2015 or 2016 was the end of the comics.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I will have to go buy 9 and 10 so I can know more about what happens to Piper.
Yeah. And you can always listen to the podcast because we go over every page of each issue, every episode. So we kind of like talk it all out and talk about what it means. And, we give you the full stories even without having to read. I do provide online links on those too. So if you want to, like, if you can't find them in print somehow, because sometimes they're hard to find, you can click on the link and even read it online.
Do you know if they come out with like a complete season book?
They have. This is great to talk about because I don't think I ever mentioned it as much on the podcast. But there's 4 volumes, so each volume is a compilation of like 5 to 7 issues. So season 9 has 4 volumes that collects all of them, and then season 10 has 3 volumes.
Okay, so there's 7 total. Because I'm a completionist.
Yeah.
And I don't like when you were talking about the charm stuff way back then, like in Italy or somewhere, they were saying something about they did like, here's a few episodes. I'm like, no, I need a full season.
Right.
And now that they've started coming out with complete series DVD box sets, I'm still one of those old school people that want to have the DVDs because streaming people decide to buy and get rid of sets all the time. So I still buy DVDs. I'm still old school. But I bought like the complete series of Gilmore Girls, Friends, I Love Lucy, Power Rangers, at least up until Space, Charmed, Sabrina, Dark Shadows from the 60s.
Yeah.
And I just buy the complete series stuff. So that's why I was asking about the comics, like if they, because I know that some of the Power Ranger comics come out in like collector editions, and I'm just like, that's the way how I would probably buy it instead of each individual one.
Yeah, I started with the volumes too, and then I went back and got the individual issues too, just because I'm a nut like that.
I mean, the art's pretty too.
Yeah,
I just don't have space in my apartment anymore. Look at this is my. I don't. Like,
I know.
I have no more room anywhere to add anything, and I keep adding stuff. I don't know where it goes, but I just keep adding.
So crazy. But yeah, that's just the comic books. The novels that I did before my first 2 years, a year and a half was the novels, and those were coming out while the show was coming out, and they're up there. They're like kind of like not children. They're like teen novel. Because Sabrina the Teenage Witch had them too. The Ross Wells, all those kind of tie-in books. And they were coming
Yep.
out as the show was coming out, and they take place kind of in little pockets. They're all original stories and take place in little pockets of the series.
You always kind of wonder what happens in between each
Right.
episode.
And so some other things they might have
And that's something that I've always kind of like recently thought about. I'm like, okay, how do these women look as gorgeous as they do, have time to shower, put on makeup, do all this stuff, and yet still fight demons?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I always picture, like, what does their average day look like? Like, can they sleep? Do you sleep? Like, do you have to take a sleeping pill to make sure you sleep? Like, are you always on edge? And just like going to the store, like going to the grocery store, like just pushing a shopping cart, but then like, is a demon gonna attack? Like, oh, I don't know. I just wonder what their average life is like in between each episode where nothing has happened.
Exactly.
Where they get a break.
Yeah. You know, it's very fascinating to think about that, you know. And there are some like moments in the series where they're like, okay, we've been demon free for a while. Let's just chillax. We're just doing normal things until the crazy starts again.
Yeah.
But
at the end of Act 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The calm before the storm.
Yeah. So no, I've just thought about that recently, and I'm just kind of like, how do all these people, like even Buffy, I know that this is a whole different tangent, but just like Power Rangers, even how are you guys saving the world and going to school, doing high school projects and doing school 8 hours a day and practicing karate and socializing and saving the world?
Yeah.
It's like,
how do you even pass school? How many times do you have to leave your class in the middle of the day to go fight something? You know, like.
Well, that's the problem. I think Rita and Zed were very, very nice because they only did that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. It's like, we'll wait till after school to start attacking.
Yeah, we'll wait till after school to send the monster down. Whereas with Phoebe, she just like is right in the middle of her college class getting strangled by a ghost.
Yeah.
Or her past or something.
Yeah, that's part of my past. I got you. Yeah, she's trying to take a test.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just funny.
It is funny.
I find it fun.
Yes. Like TV logic.
I know. I'm a problem because I like to have logic toward whatever I'm watching, but when there's no logic, I'm like, you lost me. I don't get it.
Cool. I'm trying to think anything else.
Let's see. Do I have any other questions for you? Where would you like to take the podcast? What else would you like to, I know that you're doing it and having fun, but like do you have any plans that you'd like to share with your audience about where you'd like to go?
Yes, if they're not aware, I probably mentioned this so in passing, but I had like a 5-year plan when I started this of like all the things I wanted to do, because I was trying to space it out, like how long this would take. Because after I finish the comic books, we're doing season 10 right now. I'm going to do the Dynamite comics. We're going to do the manga, and that's as well. I'm going to take a break before season 3, and then we're going to do the guidebook. So that's, all of the essay books, the book of threes, any kind of TV guidebook that was created, or it has to do with Charmed. And then that will probably take a while because I'm going to break that up into sections. And then I'm doing the official magazines that came out.
Wow, you got plans.
Yeah. So all the official magazines, there's 24 issues of those. I also, because in UK and Australia, they have this DVD set, because I have collected just about every DVD set of Charmed that I can find. I have like the whole series multiple times. They had like this DVD set, this purple set, that like all the discs put together and makes like this big long picture. I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And included with that DVD set was also these magazines that they had for every episode, had a little magazine that talked about the episode and went into depth and had certain interviews and things. So when we were covering those magazines, I finally got a hold of them. And going to be covering those too in the magazine section. So who knows when this will end.
So you said you had a 5-year plan.
It might be longer.
What year are you on right now?
I'm just a little over 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you still got time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have an actual official series finale instead of just dropping it off?
Yeah, I'm very dedicated. I've seen, because that's the thing with podcasts. So many people start podcasts and then just like fizzle out. They don't have the drive or the gusto or the passion to keep going with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like I don't make money on this. I don't. This is a passion project. I do this because I love it, and it's really fun
Mhm.
just talking to people and getting my thoughts out and my ideas out and going over these stories that are lesser known. So
I haven't come out with it yet, but I'm in development of it. I'm still writing it and still figuring out what I want to do. So in my off time when I'm not doing tarot, I am writing my own stuff. I am creating a short. I like to do short stories because my mind works very TV oriented, and so a book feels like a movie, and it just feels like too long. But yet a novella is just too short, and my stories are going to be about 10,000 words, and for writers who know word count. But one of the series that I'm working on right now, it's called Witch Games, and it's a combination of Pokemon and
oh my
Charmed.
gosh, that's amazing.
It's basically Pokemon for witches, is basically
I
what
love
it is.
that.
So eventually I would like to, and it's got 3 main characters, so the power of 3, only one of them is a boy, just changing it up. But it's just like, it's basically Pokemon for witches.
Yeah.
So instead of going out looking for animals you can trap, it's going out and looking for little crystals that actually give you an individual power.
Nice. That sounds really fun.
So it's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I just got to get that out there. But this tarot business has just been kind of taking up all of my time lately. And so I've just been wanting to
Yeah.
eventually get back to that.
Yeah, and Sean, who's my co-host for the comics, he wrote a book called Witch's Brew. He's working on a sequel, so he's a little bit of a writer too. That's
Okay.
exciting. And then I'm actually, for this podcast, working on a radio musical. We're doing a Charmed musical.
Interesting.
Yes, because we were so mad that we never got a Charmed musical episode. So I'm taking, it's going to take place kind of like in the comics territory, like about that timeline. And we're making a Charmed musical. I'm writing the script. I have a composer friend writing the songs, and
Oh, wow.
it's gonna happen. We're gonna once it's all done, we'll have a cast and we'll do like a radio show and do this musical.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's a really cool idea.
It's very exciting.
That is a fun idea.
So I'm gonna have to.
You should get. I saw
Go ahead.
that you've interviewed the actual people from the show, from the cast. So I'm like, you should just get them to do it.
I know that would be amazing. Hopefully they say yes. That would be really cool. I mean, we can have somebody. We can have a singer stand in for you for the songs if you want. We don't have to make you sing, but if you want to say the lines, that would be amazing. So we'll see.
That'd be really cool.
We'll see if
That'd
we're
be
lucky.
fun.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, I'll definitely spin some ideas off of you if I get some writer's block, I might come over to you.
I've got all the decks to help you.
Yeah. So cool. So I guess we're pretty much done. Tell people where they can follow you and stuff.
Okay. So I have made all of I've got Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. All of it is Chris Lilly TV. My name, and then T like Tom, V like Victor, but the TikTok is .tv just because someone else took it already. My website is chrislilly.tv, so if anyone wants to sign up for get some writer's block going, I have a 3-month program and I would love to help you guys out. Anyone who wants to come and get more in tune with their own writing and learn more about themselves, give you basically 3 months of tarot readings for your story. Let's see. If you do want to email me, I guess I'll put that out there.
Exclusive.
It's Chris Lilly. I know. It's Chris Lilly. It's Chris Lilly. It's Chris Lilly TV @gmail.
Yes.
So very creative. All of it's Chris Lilly TV.
Well, it's consistent. It makes it so we know where to find you. Because if you have different things for everything, it's like I get confused. So
originally, my handles was all Smallville spelled backwards.
Okay.
And everyone was like, "What is this evil lamb situation?" Like, no, that's not what it is. So once Smallville ended and I stopped watching Smallville, I graduated and I matured, and I was like, I'm just gonna put my name out there, and I like TV, so that's why I have TV on the back end of everything.
Nice.
And now so if you look up, and I'm not the Australian guy. There's an Australian comedian whose name is Chris Lilly as well, but he spells it with an EY, not just a Y, like I do.
Yeah.
And so I've had people be like, "Are you that guy?" I'm like, "No, I'm a completely different person. I'm not a comedian. I'm an American, and I write. not that guy."
Like, ow.
Just letting you know so that no one gets confused about which Chris Lilly they're talking to.
Yeah.
Or about.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We know where to find you. We know where to go for all the goodies.
Yeah. And again, if anyone wants to do a personal reading, or I'm a certified tarot reader, I just got it earlier this year, and personal books, I've got all the decks, I've got all the spreads, and it's just I like doing tarot. I just really like helping people tell their story in a more connective way.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining me for this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
This was good. Yay!
Yeah, this was fun to talk. Now I want to go back and now I want to go watch it.
Yeah, now you want to watch it. You can start reading the comics. You can start reading the books if you're that, I don't have lots of don't have time, but if you're that inclined, you can read the books too.
Before we go, I'm going to ask you two more questions.
Okay.
Who was your favorite sister?
Okay, it's Prue.
Okay. And if you were to have any one of their powers in your real life, which one would you have?
Orbing.
Orbing. Okay.
Yeah.
I always want to stop time.
Yeah. I think
I'm always I'm in my car, and I'm just always just like doing her movement.
Yeah.
And I just
yeah.
But orbiting would be fun because then you wouldn't have to have plane flights.
Yeah, exactly. And that's because if you asked me like a year ago, I probably would have said something different. I would probably have said like telekinesis or something, just because that's what I do all the time. But because I'm traveling and I do lots of things, like orbiting would be the most beneficial of anything that I would use.
Orbiting would be. And it's actually funny that you mentioned that, because I was getting set up for this, and I don't know, do you do a video feed as well or no?
This will be a video, yeah.
Okay, so I have a light above me, and some of it I could see. It looks kind of like I'm orbiting.
Oh yeah,
a little bit. And so I thought it was funny.
Beaming, yeah. That's a different power. That's Cupid's. But yeah,
totally different.
Yeah. Well, cool.
But thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yes, I'm so glad we got to do this. We got to fit it in. If people want to follow this podcast, you can still do that. All the places, Words of the Witches, except for Twitter, where it's Words of Witches, because they didn't let me put the. I don't know.
Someone probably stole the other one.
Maybe.
So.
Or I was like, give like a character limit or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you know where to find me, and yeah, we'll see you all very soon.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'll wave too, since it's a video feed.
Your destiny still awaits.